And like I think that one of the lowest point in my life where I had to like call up a suicide hotline, and I ended up hanging up the phone call because I didn't want to admit anything.
Hi.
I open up the screen and then it's this like really cool sign and everything. So cute, so professional. For people who don't know, Wow Banana is like one of the biggest comedy channels in Singapore. They're a YouTube channel. Right before I joined them, I was actually doing my own vlogs. There was a huge degree of me feeling like whatever I'm posting on like my vlogs or on Instagram, like do people even like why should people care about the stuff I post? Who am I to make it seem like this opinion is important? Like I feel like I'm a nobody. So like what's the point of talking about this topic? And that kind of like ate me like yeah, that's why I stepped back from doing my own vlogs for a while and just go into doing like short form comedy, because comedy is something which anyone can kind of consume. It's a very low digestion barrier, if that makes sense. It's like you don't need a very high intellect to
Yeah.
understand everything that's going on. One of my greatest fears was always loneliness. In secondary school it first started because I was slightly alienated from certain friend groups because of certain dramas. And I am not super close to my family. So like half of my family lives in Germany. I always thought like friends were like my supportive pillar. So when that was taken away from me, then I felt like very, very lost. And at the same time, I was also getting into professional gaming. Tournament and school will be like the top two priority. Then of course, if there are no tournaments, then I'll be able to hang out with friends more. But this kind of like inconsistency with my time made my friends kind of like contact other friends more and things like that, which I eventually just say, oh yeah, that's fine. You just go and hang out. I'll practice my game and stuff like that. And then eventually I became more and more distant with them. So there was this whole period where I felt like there was very little people almost nobody I can really rely on or like find when I'm in like a time of trouble. And like I think that one of the lowest point in my life where I had to like call up a suicide hotline, and I ended up hanging up the phone call because I didn't want to admit anything, was also
It.
during the phase where I was in army. I couldn't really get along with like the people in my bunk well, so I was kind of like just in my own world. My parents, who I started getting closer with because of army, they were always there for me and stuff like that. They were overseas for like I think 2 or 3 months, so I was like all alone. Every day was like kind of like a struggle. Like I will always like look through old pictures on my phone to make myself feel better and stuff like that. It was very weird, but I had a process as well, and I'll write stuff in like a diary to kind of like keep myself sane or just like pen down my thoughts. Um, yeah, but I think loneliness is tough. It's tough. So I think having a good social circle, or even just those like two, three, four friends who can snap you out of things, or just talk to you and you can who can understand you, I think super important.
Definitely. Whoa,
Mm.
that thanks for sharing that. You actually got to a point where you called a suicide hotline because you really
Mm.
felt like doing something.
Yeah, like I would say I am quite solution oriented. So when I realized that I am close to being depressed, I was like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
The first thing was like I googled up hotlines, and I called a number and it rang, and then I put it down because I thought to myself like, firstly, if a robot is the first thing that picks up the phone, I would feel very bad, because
Yeah.
then I have to go through a whole robot system, which I don't know why that mindset, but I just had it. Then the other thing was I didn't want to admit that I had it. I didn't want to say to someone that I am feeling this specific way and that I'm not strong enough to deal with it. I didn't want to tell like people who don't know me that this is what's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't even dare to open up to my parents about this also. It's only to like really, really close friends who I would dare to open up about this kind of things. For each person, it might be different to deal with it, but I like to describe it as like imagine these kind of sad moments like a rainy season where it's like the dark clouds come, and rather than being like super upset that the dark cloud is there and stuff, you should learn to be comfortable in the rain, and then you just kind of like wait it out until it passes, and then the sunlight will come again. it will always come, but at the same time, it should always go as well.
Have you ever thought about writing your own quotes?
I do. It's called Instagram.
I've heard so many suicide stories. You won't believe it. It's like people just don't say it, but so many people go through it. And you just feel like at that moment you're alone. But there's so many people feeling this. Yeah, and it's crazy.
I don't even feel like mine was that bad compared to stories which I've heard. But in my situation, I felt like it was the end of the world. For those people, I can't even imagine, like, there's no way that they even have the courage to talk to anyone. Like, that's always the go-to phrase, right? Like, oh, if you're feeling depressed, talk to someone. Like, freak, talking to someone is the problem.
Yes.
Like, I can't even get the strength to talk to someone. So I think sometimes it does rely on even friends to spot certain things and just reach out and continue reaching out enough. I hung out with Liu Lo once before, and then we were in a group of 4, and then he was like, he looked at me and then he was like, oh, how are you? I'm like, oh, fine. And then he paused and then he goes like, no, how are you really? Then I'm like, oh shit, this guy got me. Damn. Like, it's that simple to try to like pry something open. Yeah, like sometimes if you feel something's off about your friend, most likely something is.
Yes. I think it's a great practice actually. That is what I would usually do. I'll be like, are you okay? Are you really okay? You need to like ask it twice for some reason for them to like really open up. If not, they'll just be, I'm fine, I'm okay, and talk about something else.
Yeah, so true. When I was gaming, when I got second at, for example, SEA Games, or when I got third at some recent tournament as well, it's like I put so much into preparations, and if I don't get first, I just feel so crushed. Like when I got third at this recent competition, I had to miss my flight to play that game. So basically, I was already third, but I had to play that match to make it to top 2.
Yeah.
So I chose, I'm gonna miss my flight. I'm gonna try to play. I had to take an extra day off work. I had to miss my flight and pay for my flight back. And I had like some appointment with my girlfriend the next day. Like there were a lot of things going on, and I chose to make the decision for myself to take a chance and make it to top 2. And I lost. Like I lost super close, like 3-2. But right after that, I just went up to the roof of the venue and I started crying. Like I cannot take this kind of like expectations that I set for myself, which I don't hit. If no one was supporting me, I wouldn't care. Like I can mess up again and again and again, but it's when you know that so many people are watching and then I lose, then it's like oof. Then it's like I know that I'm affecting so many people and like work, affecting myself, affecting my girlfriend.
But I do still think like if you went back to that time, you would have made the same decision because
for sure. I had I was very lucky. One of my closest friends was there, so he came up and found me on the roof, and he saw me crying and he spoke to me, and I explained to him what was happening, and then he said like, yo, like if anything, like if he was in my position, he would have done the exact same thing. Like a person who is so dedicated to their passion and who's so ready to like sacrifice things to chase it, it's a very unique and rare thing, and I should be proud of that. And like like if I went home with the mentality of the what if, that's so much worse than having played and lost. And then like him just saying all those kind of things made me feel like so like at ease with like the whole situation.
You have a really good friend.
Yeah, I have tons of really good friends. I'm quite blessed.
Any final words to our audience out there?
Nah, man, stay safe, do less, God bless.
Do less,
or do more if you want. Yeah,
if you want, it's up to you.
If you want, that's right.
Thank you so much, Thomas. I think you shared a lot of valuable insight. And
thank you for having me and having this show as well. Comment, follow, like, subscribe.
Thank you. What he said.
Bye.
Bye.
It's like I have a damn dope receding hairline as well. I'm like,
oh my god,
okay.
me too.
It's like,
me too.
Yo, mine is deep, man.
Yo, I have long hair, so you can't see it.
Yours
Come
okay.
on.
Mine is deep.